Visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580, good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Happy Monday. We got a lot to talk about and a lot to be about, right? So it's Black History Month still celebrating that. And it is a Mindful Monday, and this is the way we do things on a Mindful Monday. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond, kicking off the hour with a Mindful Monday, some guided prayer, meditation, and affirmation to get ourselves together for this week that is going to be a busy and exciting one. And then hour three, we do a deep dive hot topic today. Deep dive hot topic equals messy Monday. So we're going to talk about relationships because, the personal is still important, even when maybe especially important when everything goes haywire. Starting off the show today, though, my friend and colleague, she hosts This Is Not a Drill, Saturday mornings here on KBLA. She's also a mom. She's a professor at Cal State LA and the director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, lead organizer for BLM Los Angeles, and a leader in her union. Dr. Melina Abdullah, good morning.
Good morning, Sister Dominique. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. It's this Monday is really Mondaying, but I am definitely blessed. How are you?
Yeah, it's Mondaying. The power is out at my house, so there we go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like I had that kind of a morning too. But here we are, showing up like we do.
Yep.
So Black Lives Matter Grassroots has got a lot going on. You have an event this week, Friday to be exact, at the Pan-African Film Festival.
Yes, we have a world premiere at the Pan-African Film Festival this Friday at 6:45 p.m. We're really excited. We've always partnered with the Pan-African Film Festival every year, but this one is really, really special. So, world premiere. People can get their tickets at Pan-African Film Festival, and I think you'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Mike Brown Sr. will be there.
Oh, wow.
The father of Mike Brown. Andrew and Deanna Hardy Joseph, the parents of Andrew Joseph III are joining. Our own Baba Akili, if we can get him back from the continent, will be with us. So it's a really, really exciting project, and we look forward to having as many folks in the space as possible. And it's one of the things that we've done to raise money, but also to tell our own stories from the perspectives of boots on the ground. And again, we've partnered with the Pan-African Film Festival since our beginnings in 2013. Both you and I are fortunate to call Babu one of our mentors and role models. And for me, especially teaching Pan-African Studies at Cal State LA, he's been hugely instrumental. And the Pan-African Film Festival is part of his legacy, but also aligns with my work within BLM Grassroots and also my work as an intellectual at Cal State LA in Pan-African Studies.
Right, and for those not familiar, Ayuko Babu is one of the founders of the Pan-African Film Festival, along with Danny Glover, and it's been going on for 30 years. I didn't realize we were 30 years in. And now he has handed the reins over to his son, Oduduwa Babu, Oduduwa Olatunji, I should say. And, of course, his mom continues, his wife, his partner, continues to play a strong role, Santewa. So it's in good hands, but, this is a big new year for the Pan-African Film Festival, and this is going to be an exciting event. I think if you can come, you should come. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, and all the information is at paff.org, PAFF.org, and it's not even up on our social media. We just announced it, so we're grateful to be in. There was a little pause in doing kind of events with PAF when after COVID hit. Right. So there was a pause on the festival itself. And so we're glad to be back in person and doing this most exciting thing. This is the most exciting thing we've ever done with them. So people don't want to miss that. It's a world premiere on Friday. So we're excited about it.
And of course, in the middle of, All-Star Weekend, rain or shine, because we're supposed to have a lot of rain this week. Black Lives Matter LA and BLM Grassroots are going to keep protesting no matter how hard the rain comes down.
Absolutely. So the the police commission likes to take days off. We don't take days off. So I don't know if you've seen all of the crap with the LA Police Commission, but we'll be protesting on Wednesday. Every Wednesday we protest. And what we've launched last week, just in earnest, is Fire Jim McDonell. So we're going to be pushing that and reminding folks that the whole system is guilty and interconnected. So we say Fire Jim McDonell. We say bye Nathan Hochman. Nathan Hochman must go. And all the systems are guilty. And Jim McDonell is the LA Police Chief, who many folks know is responsible for the 70% surge in police shootings of Angelenos. So while crime is down to 60-year lows in Los Angeles, largely as a result of the intervention work of, really courageous interventionists and committed interventionists, the area that's up the most is the area of crime that's up the most is the shootings of our people at the hands of police, which again surged by 70%. That's on Jim McDonell's watch. And of course, Jim McDonell, the chief of police, also essentially excused the murder of Keith Porter, has still refused to arrest the murderer, whose name is Brian Palacios. We learned that from Community. And so we're saying Jim McDonell must go. Fire Jim McDonell. That's a call to the mayor, who has the power to fire Jim McDonell. It's a call to the city council, which also has the power to fire Jim McDonell. And it's also a call to the police commission, which is supposed to be the civilian body that oversees LAPD rather than trying to be in cahoots with LAPD.
Right. I want to get into that, what's going on at the commission from your perspective. It seems a wee bit chaotic. Also, do a deeper dive and where we are with our district attorney. We had an interesting article in the Times last week about Mr. Hochman. and all the things that you've got going on, plus your lens and some things that are going on around and about the city of Los Angeles. Dr. Melina Abdullah, I should have mentioned, is also a political scientist, so perfect for election season. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in or jump in on youtube.com, KBLA 1580, and write your comments in the comments section, and that's part of being on the air with us as well. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Check it out. After nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, poets, and cultural icons, I have learned that the difference between a good conversation and an unforgettable one is not what you say, it is how you listen. Most people listen to respond. I learned to listen to learn and follow. When you master this, something remarkable happens. People just open up. They leave the conversation feeling truly heard, and they never forget you. Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and for the first time in my life, I'm teaching everything I have learned. The Art of Conversation, a 4-week masterclass for podcasters, leaders, and professionals who understand that the ability to connect is their greatest competitive advantage. Our founding cohort starts Monday, February the 16th, and only a limited number of seats remain. Enroll right now at TavisTalks.com. That's TavisTalks.com.
Yeah, this is all good.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Yeah, y'all, come on.
Here come the drums. At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
Your ancestors' favorite radio station. And your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now. Let's get back to Dr. Melina Abdullah right now. A miracle happened. Both Doc and myself actually stepped out of our houses for All-Star Weekend, at least briefly this weekend. I usually don't get invited anywhere, but council member Heather Hutt had a hell of a block party with Dougie Fresh and Rick the Ruler, and great DJ. Everybody was, dancing in the streets, literally. So thanks, Ingrid and Heather Hutt, for that one.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I missed that one. Heather Hutt, put me on your invitation list next time. I like Dougie Fresh. I like Dougie Fresh.
Technically, it was formerly the Retired NBA Players Association, but which now has a new name, Basketball Legends.
I like former NBA players as well, Heather Hutt. So really,
you better stop. I'm going to recruit you for Messy Monday. So, but you were outside too. You were outside for a more respectable kind of cause, right?
Well, yeah. My college roommate is the director of the Jalen Brunson Foundation, so I got to go and hear about all the incredible work that they're doing, supporting young people and after-school programs all around the country. I thought, oh, that's cute. My college roommate runs some foundation for some guy who used to play basketball. It's like one of her friend's sons. And I didn't realize he's famous until I got
That's
there.
hilarious.
And I was like, oh, is this guy, does he still play? And she was like, yes. And I said, oh, is he famous? And she was like, yes. And I said, he's a star. She was like, Jalen Brunson holds every record. And I was like, oh, I never heard of him. But I haven't watched basketball in years, so didn't realize that it was some big-time guy.
Yeah.
But it was a
Plays
beautiful
for the
gathering
Knicks.
and grateful for his work. Yeah.
Plays for the Knicks. And I, if I am not mistaken, a couple weeks ago, he got Player of the Week or something. You've heard of Jalen Brunson, right, Miles?
He's that guy. He's an all-star. He's one of the best players in the league, for sure.
There you go.
I had no idea.
See, Melina's that was her Forrest Gump act. Okay, I'll go here. What? He's famous. He's still playing. That's hilarious. Gotta love that. I'm glad you got outside. That's a good thing. Yeah. So, what is exactly, or from your perspective, what is going on at the police commission meetings? It seems like I've heard consistently from activists that there is a silencing of people going on right now. And, of course, the right-wing papers call it chaos. But
yeah,
how would you characterize it?
It is chaos. It is chaos because it's ridiculous. So as a political scientist, one of the highest forms of democracy and citizenship is community engagement, is civic engagement. And usually they kind of laud white middle class and wealthy communities as being more civically engaged. These are affluent people who go to public meetings, and they're lauded as the highest form of citizens, right? So the LA Police Commission is one of those public meetings, right? School boards are public meetings. City council is public meetings. One of the things that I really, really appreciate of the Black Lives Matter era is the public meetings have been kind of uncovered by the actual public, right? Not just in affluent suburbs, but in cities like Los Angeles. And so we began going to the LA Police Commission meetings back in 2014, a year after Black Lives Matter was born. But organizations like Stop LAPD Spying and LA Community Action Network had been going for years even before that. Because what these are supposed to be is places where there is a citizen's voice, a civilian voice, and which I always find funny because police technically are supposed to be civilians. They're not supposed to be military, right? That oversees the police. And so there's always been disdain when working class and poor people and people of color show up. However, until 2020, they tolerated it because there's something that governs public meetings in the state called the Brown Act, and they have to, right? So there has to be a public comment period. But what happened in 2020 when people started reconsidering rules in virtually every space is they drastically cut back on democracy and began to erode democracy. So they took the meetings online and they moved to kind of Zoom format meetings. And then finally, I think it was 2021, they went back to in-person meetings. But they cut public comment from unlimited public comment to a 45-minute public comment period, which is absolutely ridiculous because we already thought that it was undemocratic that they have the meetings on Tuesday mornings at 9:30 a.m. inside police headquarters when most people are at work or at school and can't get there. And inside the police department, which is what you're going to talk about, and you're intimidated by dozens and dozens of cops around the room. We already thought that was undemocratic, and we said, let's move them into community and into evenings and on the weekends when people can go. But they cut back this public comment. And so now they arbitrarily have said that, okay, instead of your 3 minutes of public comment, you only get 1 minute of public comment, sometimes depending on the will of the police commission, and it's 45 minutes or 60 minutes instead of letting everybody who's taken a day off of work and paid at least $20 to park speak, you know? And so people are angry, and I get it. And, you know, the commission should be there to listen to the voice of the people. And unfortunately, their undemocratic behavior is spreading. City Council is doing the same thing. And even the Charter Reform Commission, which erupted last week, is supposed to be like really ushering in greater democracy for the entire city as they redo the city's constitution. They're doing the same thing. So police commission meetings have become a spectacle and chaos, but it's a chaos of the making of the institution, not because of the people.
Well, we just have 12 seconds till news, traffic, and sports. I do have some, follow-up questions on that. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We do have a lot to cover. Man, it's a big week at KBLA, a big week in LA, and an interesting week in America. We got all that coming on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says major reforms at ICE are needed before Congress can move forward on Homeland Security funding.
We know, and the American people clearly know, that ICE is totally out of control and they need to be reined in.
His comments came on CBS's Face the Nation after DHS funding lapsed this weekend. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon has pleaded not guilty to federal charges tied to an anti-ICE protest at a Minnesota church. Lemon says he was there reporting as an independent journalist. He was arrested in Los Angeles while covering the Grammys after a federal grand jury indicted him and others. And President Trump is granting clemency to 5 former NFL players, Joe Flacco, Nate Newton, Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, and the late Billy Cannon. Their pardons clear past convictions tied to drug crimes, fraud, and other offenses. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards to ever play in the NBA, announced his retirement today after 21 seasons. Paul played 7 of those seasons with the Clippers. The 12-time All-Star is a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. He led the league in assists 5 times and was a 9-time selection to the All-Defense team. He'll be a first-ballot Hall of Famer in 2031. The Lakers have a decision to make. Luka Doncic was the leading vote getter for Sunday's NBA All-Star game. but he's missed the last 4 games with a hamstring injury. It could be disastrous if Doncic tries to play Sunday and gets hurt again. Tonight at 6, you can get your Friday night sports fix with Out of Bounds in prime time. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for 60 minutes of sports chatter with some black folks flavor. You're welcome to hang out with us on the KBLA YouTube channel or hit us up at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
They call it progress, but progress has a price. Land once held in black hands, taken, stolen, erased. Acres paved into highways, fields burned. Homes replaced by parking lots and broken promises. Every deed lost was a dream deferred. We talk about millionaires, but what about the millionaires that never were? The farmers whose soil was seized. The families who watched their inheritance disappear. The wealth that never had a chance to grow because its roots were ripped from the ground. They took the land, but never the legacy, because the soil remembers, and so do we. Every story matters. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and amplify these stories. If this is part of your family's history, visit blacklandlost.org/share your story and help bring us closer to justice.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, thank you indeed. Okay, so you were talking about the chaos of the police commission, which you say it's really their fault. And I would, argue also the LAPD's fault if you guys would stop killing people and, abridging their rights. using so-called non-lethal force on journalists, et cetera, I bet those meetings would calm down a bit. That said, though, how is a city official meant to manage a meeting? I mean, this has been a problem with the city council meetings, right? Where there are people who are using racial slurs and misogynistic terms, along with people who are protesting and saying maybe Black Lives Matter or whatever they're saying. It can be pretty chaotic and not fun at those meetings. And it, you know, the argument is, well, how are they supposed to get anything done?
Yeah, well, you know what? There's chaos in lots of places and people who say things that you don't like in lots of places. But if you look around the country, commissions, public meetings are held in a way that you just have to let it go. You know, there are people there all the time who are there to talk about everything from Scientology to police not investigating a robbery of their homes to people criticizing police rightfully for killing our people. And you don't get to cut off public comment because you think it's invalid or because you don't like what's being said. I'm thinking about one of the commissions that I went to in Atlanta when we were trying to shut down Cop City in Atlanta. And that meeting went until 4 o'clock in the morning because community mobilized in order to tell city council, we don't want this Cop City in our city taking over a forest and desecrating land. And it was a place where someone was killed. And they had to sit there and listen, or they chose not to be as anti-democratic as Los Angeles is becoming. And they listened until everybody spoke, and ultimately they did the wrong thing, but they didn't shut down public comment.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it is. I get it. If I was a city council person, I would not be trying to sit up there and listen to people call me the B word and the N word all day. I don't. Maybe that's why I'm not on the city council. I might have to go over and choke somebody, you know, if they were talking all that smack all day long, week after week after week. On the other hand, you wonder, since your job is police commissioner and part of that job is listening, why is it so hard to just sit still and listen?
Well, and everybody gets 3 minutes, right? And so when they're using the N word or using the B word, I'm sitting there too. You know, and I'm hearing it for 3 minutes. And I'd rather that one person or two people who are highly offensive, I'd rather them say that and I just have to sit there than nobody else, none of the other dozens of people, be able to say things like, you know, Jim McDonell should be fired. You know, then we should be able to speak. And I think that it's hugely problematic, and I think it's probably a violation of the law. I've looked at the Brown Act for them to behave in the way that they have. And again, it's been descending down this path for a long time. Prior to 2020, I keep thinking of Tut Hayes, who was an elder Black man who went faithfully to police commission, who at 83 years old was beaten and dragged to the ground and dragged out of police commission meeting and arrested for speaking off topic, allegedly. And I think about that. That happened before 2020. But what's happening now is just, you know, on steroids, where people are being, last week, Hamid Khan, who's also a bit of an elder, not quite as much of an elder as Ted Hayes was, but, you know, well into his 60s, was surrounded by police for going over the reduced time because the police commission president, Teresa Sanchez Gordon, had decided instead of getting 3 minutes, he gets 1 minute, and he had more to say than 1 minute. And it turned into chaos because police surrounded him and physically tried to remove him from the podium, and everybody else in the audience stood up because they were outraged at the way in which they were trying to treat Hamid. So it just doesn't make sense, in the way in which it's spreading throughout the city is really, really disturbing. Finally, I'll just say I'm grateful for people who are on commissions, like Reverend Dr. James Thomas, who's on the City Charter Commission, who, when he saw this behavior happening, when they tried to, it also doesn't make sense, they tried to cut off public comment with only 4 more speakers. That means a total of 12 minutes, but you created chaos that lasted 30, right? Just let people speak for the 12 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So James Thomas said, forget it, I'm breaking quorum. And there were 3 others who went with him and walked out and refused to participate in that kind of undemocratic behavior.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's more important to have our freedom of speech than to have decorum at a meeting. But I just also don't think people should be able to just be up there hurling M-word, B-words, N-words. And I just don't. I mean, I think people should be able to speak. I don't know. Is this just L.A.? You said no. Is this part of the Trump sort of we all get to be mean to each other all the time syndrome? Like what? We all have no manners syndrome, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, to put it in perspective, Dominique, I think you're talking about Wayne Spindler, the white guy who used to come to city council meeting and hurl the N-word, right?
Yeah, and there's a couple other ones that do it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's Wayne Spindler. It's this other guy, oh, God, I can't remember his name, who dresses up like Batman. You know, it's like 2 people, and it's not the majority of the people who are speaking. It's fine. And honestly, sometimes it's funny when they come and talk like goats. They are not always hurling the N-word. These are people who are mentally unwell. And I'd rather give the 2 people who are mentally unwell the space to do it, and then the 40 of us who are there to talk about real issues that are plaguing the community than to shut it down. And what's interesting is if you watch city council meetings, which sometimes I nerdily do for fun, if you watch city council meetings, Marquise Harris Dawson, the president of the city council, continues to allow people to use the N-word and all of that while shutting down people who go beyond time or speak off topic. And there was actually an incident where somebody who was using the N-word was checked by an audience member, and instead of allowing that person to speak, he allowed the person using the N-word to speak and kicked the other person out of the room. So it's really not because, okay, these are fighting words, which could be a legal debate. It's because they don't want that much democracy, because then they too might be held accountable. And I think that's a reason for all of us to be upset.
Well, I do think it's incumbent on them to listen. And, people are going to show up. We're supposed to show up. That's actually part of our civic duty. I also empathize with people having stuff thrown their way. At the same time, the new LA Post, which is a bane on our, the New York Post LA edition was bad enough having that right-wing mess in New York. Now we have it here too. They said that Jason Reedy consistently uses his children as shields or something like that, which I thought was really, really like nasty and terrible of them to say.
Yeah, there's a woman who comes to these meetings who works for the LA Post, and then she tries to bait those of us who are there to give public comment, gets in our faces with cameras, says all kinds of things. And the treatment of this black father, Jason Reedy, is just outrageous. But both by her as well as the commission itself. I've shared with you before, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard was the president of the police commission, as we were offering public comment, stopped the meeting and said, the person at the back of the room, if you can't control your conversation, you're going to be removed. Who she was talking about was a 6-month-old infant that was strapped to their dad's, to Jason's front. No, the baby cannot control its conversation. It was babbling. It was beautiful. I love baby babble. It wasn't even crying. But if you can't control your conversation, you'll be removed from the meeting, is what she said to this baby. So this is how out of touch these people are. I think it's really a lesson in great parenting, what Jason does, bringing his small children to the meetings and showing that you do have a voice and you do get to engage. You know, I raised my children that way, that they don't have to just accept the world as it's handed to them.
I mean, and they printed that baby's whole face in this New York Post LA edition, which I think, to me, that shouldn't even be legal. You can't endanger people's children like that. Really disgusting. When we come forward, I want to talk Nathan Hochman. The LA Times had an article about how he is letting police officers go, dropping charges, enforcing lesser charges, giving sweetheart plea deals, and the like. He denies it. Get your thoughts when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Nasty indeed. Dr. Melina Abdullah is here with me, well, in spirit, on the phone. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. We're at KBLA 1580 on the YouTubes. And so much to cover here. But the LA Times, I know you guys protest basically every week. Every Wednesday, against police associations, but also against the DA, Nathan Hochman. And according to the LA Times analysis, not that they're, a progressive, but they write a lot, let me put it that way. They write a lot every day about LA. They're saying that the district attorney has downgraded or dismissed charges in a lot of high-profile cases against the cops. And then they lost 2, which you have to wonder if they, tanked those, if they threw those cases or if they went hard. He apparently told the LA Times that he makes his charging decisions based on what he thinks he can win. I know that's what the line he was using about Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. But what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, the district attorney is in bed with the Association of Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, which financed his campaign to the tune of millions of dollars. His brother, David Hochman, is also, I think it's the chair of the board of the charity that supports the sheriffs, the charitable arm of the sheriffs. So he's absolutely wound up, entangled with the sheriffs. It was LAPPL donated to his case. That's the Los Angeles Police Protective League. And so, that's who Nathan Hochman is. He is what do they call him? A stan. He's a police stan, right? He's attempting to let police walk free even when they kill our people. And that was what his promise was as he was elected to office, unseating George Gascon, who for the first time was a district attorney in that seat, who was attempting to do as much as he could to hold police accountable. So it's sickening, but it's also dangerous. We have to remember that when Nathan Hochman doesn't charge the murder of Keith Porter, when he doesn't charge, or even after charges have been filed against the murder of Brendan Glenn, and he lets them go free, that becomes a danger to community. And so everybody should be up and outraged and demanding that Nathan Hochman step down or be removed from office.
He can only be removed by the voters, right? Unless he resigns.
Yeah, he can be recalled. He can be recalled.
Okay, he could be recalled. I see what you're saying.
It costs a lot of money. Unfortunately, we don't have the same money that those who were trying to recall Gascon have. He could be recalled or he could step down. I know that Nathan Hochman does not like to be made uncomfortable, but I don't believe that people who are doing injustice in the world should be able to walk around comfortably. So, maybe it's time for people to make him uncomfortable. If you see him sitting there walking his dog down Crenshaw after he gives an interview, maybe you should tell him to get out our neighborhood, right? Some people may have done that previously, yours included, right? Yours truly included, right? If you see him sitting at a dinner with his wife, you should tell him he should get out. And he has the blood of Christopher DeAndre Mitchell on his hands. He should not be allowed to simply walk around comfortably as he basically signs off on the murders of our people. And he signed off on every single murder. When we had that meeting with him, which the article references, so Black Lives Matter Los Angeles had a meeting with him at the Sentinel. It was the first meeting of the year. And this was after Keith Porter was killed. This was as he was trying to dismiss charges against the murderers, Torrance cops who killed Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. In that meeting, we asked him, have you ever prosecuted a cop for killing our folks? And the answer was no. So is that who you want in charge when you talk about police killings at an all-time high? Is that who you want in charge of holding them accountable? And we shouldn't. That creates a danger. That's why we launched Jackie Lacey Must Go, and that's why we have to push for Nathan Hochman to get out.
You also want the police chief out, and you want the DA out. When it pertains to Jim McDonell, I mean, a lot of people are angry because he seems to be cooperating once again with ICE, but at the same time, is there any police chief, and I know I've asked you this before, what police chief would you not want out? You're an abolitionist. You don't even want police.
I don't sign off on any single police chief.
Right.
However, and this is what we warned Karen Bass before she appointed him, he is the worst of the worst. If there's anybody who's the worst devil, it's Jim McDonell, right? And not just because, he won't arrest the murder of Keith Porter, not just because of that, but if you look at last week, he enabled and empowered his cops to shoot rubber bullets at children, right? To pepper spray children, right? He's enabling his cops. He's ramping up pretextual stops. when you look at who Jim McDonell is and the way in which he's kind of fueling police abuse of Angelenos, Jim McDonell is the worst of the worst. So, no, we don't sign off on any chief. But it's also important to remember that there are worse devils, that he is the worst of the devil, of the devils.
So those are the campaigns that are highlighted on Wednesday, right, as far as get rid of Nathan Hochman and end police associations, both of which seem like pretty tall orders, but yet you guys are there week after week.
Yeah, every single week. And the call to end police associations is to remind folks that police are not union members. These are not real labor unions. These are narrow interests. They are organized crime. They are organized crime. That's our chant, right? LAPPL is organized crime, and they work on behalf of the oppressor. They are not part of the working class, which is what my labor union is. My labor union advocates for the interests of the working class, and they're opposed to it. So every Wednesday we're out there protesting. Most Tuesdays when they don't cancel, we're at Police Commission trying to hold them accountable, trying to get them to act on behalf of Angelenos. So we do that every single week, Tuesday mornings, and then Wednesday afternoons is a real protest, Wednesday at 4, in front of what we call the Hall of Injustice downtown. And folks, it's also a good time. I was talking to people about it. Like, it's not some sad protest. We got donuts, we got a DJ, we got music, we got love for each other. We do some Black Radical stretch. It's great. It's great. It's a good time, but it's also doing the justice work that's necessary to change things. And it's a long road. It's not going to be easy. Finally, I just want to offer and uplift Keisha Michael, because that's where these protests started, was in the name of Keisha Michael. Keisha Michael and Marquentin Sandlin were killed almost 10 years ago, February 21st, 2016, by Inglewood police. And it was Keisha Michael's sister who launched these protests in front of then Jackie Lacey's office, but the district attorney's office.
And so remind people how to keep track of where you guys are protesting, or if they want to get involved, or, just know what's going on.
Yeah, folks should follow BLM Los Angeles on Instagram, BLM Grassroots on all social media, and meet us in the streets every Wednesday, 4 o'clock, 211 West Temple, to participate in the protest. And meet us Friday night at the Pan-African Film Festival for our world premiere. It'll be a good time.
And for that, they can go to PAFF for Pan-African Film Festival, PAFF.org. You're going to see a little thing that says Black Lives Matter Grassroots World Premiere, and you can click on that to get tickets. I will definitely be there, and I know there will be a bunch of other folks that we'll be finding out about during the week ahead, so you want to come if you can, for sure, to that.
Yes. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, Dr. Melina Abdullah, and appreciate your insights always. We've got our Mindful Monday next with Sahara Ali, and then the phone lines will be wide open. All that straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says major reforms at ICE are needed before Congress can move forward on Homeland Security funding.
We know, and the American people clearly know, that ICE is totally out of control and they need to be reined in.
His comments came on CBS's Face the Nation after DHS funding lapsed this weekend.